started. It's about 10 o'clock. So just remember, next week's our last in this series. I know most of you guys are joining me for the next series. I'm going to send out a new Zoom link because there's a lot of people that aren't doing the next one. So I just want to start fresh with a new Zoom link. Excuse me. Today we're going to do some backbending work for our frequency of love practice. So I have a trifold blanket and then a pillow for the head. So let me just show you guys how to do the trifold.
You did it right.
So when you have your blanket, you're going to fold it in thirds. And if you don't have a yoga blanket, you can use a folded in half bed pillow. That's pretty soft. So you fold it over 1/3 and then back 1/3 and smooth it out. And we're going to put that under the back of the heart. And then you want something for your head behind that, like a square pillow from off of the sofa. And I'm going to go ahead and put the mic in. Can you guys still hear me? Yep. Yes. Okay, great. All right, I'm going to mute everybody so we don't have any feedback. And I'm going to go back to the mat. All right. So before you go down, I'll show you the setup for the opening pose in a moment. I just want to share a little bit about what we're talking about today. So the theme of class is called the frequency of love. And I was introduced to this, I can't even remember exactly where it started, but someone was talking about these different musical sound tones and how they are healing for the body. It must have been an article or I think it was a podcast I was listening to. So I was starting to do some research on it. And I came across a little bit of the history of the frequency of sound and how it's healing. So some of these sound frequencies are called solfeggio frequencies. So you can look this up on any music app that you have, like Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon Music. And a lot of times it's used during meditation and chakra healing sounds. So there's different frequencies that correlate for each of the chakra centers of the body. And they actually date back centuries and were thought to have been created by a Benedictine monk named Guido d'Arezzo, and that's from 991 AD. Solfeggio frequencies were chanted by the Gregorian monks during their meditation, and as the monks believed the frequencies when sung in harmony could bring about spiritual awakening. These sacred solfeggio frequencies make up a 6-tone scale, and each frequency is said to balance the whole body, physical, spiritual, and emotional, thus lending themselves perfectly to the healing and balancing of the chakra system. So today we're kind of focusing, if you're playing the music, we're focusing on the frequency of the heart chakra, which is 432 hertz. And this is really interesting in that the frequency of the body in general is said to be about 60 hertz. When we get ill, it drops below, so frequency drops. And when we're in like this high vibration, feeling love, happiness, joy, our frequency goes up. So frequency of the heart is 432 hertz. So there's some of that on the beginning and the end of the playlist today. If you didn't get that, it's also posted on my Facebook page. So we're going to just kind of really open up the heart space and just raise the frequency of the heart area today in our practice. So we're going to start in a supported chest opener. So you're going to have that trifold blanket. And that's going to go under the back of your heart, give you a little bit of a lift. And then your head is going to go on the pillow. So you can sort of adjust so that that blanket is right under your shoulder blades. And then feet could be flat, or you could do legs out or down angle. So any position that's comfortable. Arms are going to be goalpost if it's comfortable in your shoulders. If it's not, you could do arms out to the side. But we're going to be working with these goalpost arms a bit this morning. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of moments just to settle into that. All right. So take your time, get settled, and if there's anything that's uncomfortable, please adjust. For example, if your shoulders feel uncomfortable in that goalpost, arms out to the side. And if the blanket under shoulder blades is not happy for you, then just go ahead and come on your back with your arms out wide. You're still opening up your heart space. We tend to close down in the heart space when we're under a lot of stress. And the tissues surrounding our heart and the fascia surrounding our heart, our pericardium, will tend to kind of squeeze and tighten and decrease general circulation and flow around our heart. So the key to kind of shifting that closed down feeling in the heart is to soften and open. So as you are here, just having this feeling of softening and opening into your heart space. And just a little bit more on this, the HeartMath Institute studies the heart not only as an organ, but as an electromagnetic field, studies the frequency of the heart. And it is said that the heart has an electrical field thousands of times bigger than the brain, magnetic field much bigger than the brain, and that the frequency of the heart extends out at least 3 feet in all directions. Some say even more in some of the different things I've read. So that what we are feeling in our hearts kind of comes before us. It gets projected outward. So you kind of know this when someone walks into the room and it sometimes shifts the energy. Maybe that energy feels dark, heavy, or maybe it feels light and inviting. So that's that electromagnetic field that we are experiencing. It is also said that we can have coherence of our heart frequency when we're around someone we love, around a pet, or in a place that we love. And we can have social coherence when we gather in a group. Our heartbeats kind of sync up, our mood kind of syncs up. It's one of the things I miss about practicing in person. Studies suggest that social coherence is one of the most important parts of our health. That feelings of cooperation, trust, and compassion can be measured by the heart rhythms among group members. So hopefully, even though we're doing it in what my teacher calls the Maha Zoom room, the great Zoom room, you can still get a little bit of this sense of social coherence in our practice today. So go ahead, just take about 2 or 3 more breaths. We're going to start a little bit of movement in a moment. If your arms are not in that goalpost shape, you can put them there if it's comfortable or keep them out to the side. And let's go ahead and bend the knees. If your legs are in any other position, put your feet flat. Now, whether your arms are in a T or in goalpost, we're going to take an inhale and press the arms into the ground. And as you do, notice that your heart is starting to lift up. And then relax your arms and let your heart sink back down into the prop. Let's do that again. Press the arms, let the heart lift. And then relax. One more time. Good. And now we're going to take the palms and rub them together, nice and firmly, getting some friction, getting some warmth in our palms. And then put your palms right over your heart space. And just feel that sense of warming your own heart with your palms. Another thing that restricts our energy of our heart is the cold weather. From here, we're going to inhale, take the arms out wide to a T. Press the arms down, lift and open the heart. And then exhale, bring the hands back to the heart. Do that again. Inhale the arms out wide, open the heart. Press the arm bones and exhale back to the heart. Okay, now let's do that overhead. Inhale, arms overhead. Press down through the arms, arch your back a little bit. And then bring your hands back to your heart. One more time. Place the arms back into the goalpost position. And we're going to cross right ankle over left knee, coming into a figure 4, little hip opener. And then just windshield wiper your legs side to side with that figure 4. Now, for some of you, this is going to be too much with that blanket roll, so please feel free to take it out. Or you could also keep your feet flat and not do the ankle to knee cross and just do a windshield wiper. Now, as you do this, you might even be able to feel in through how your hips connect up into your chest tissue. Next time those legs come to the right, we're going to let them drop toward the right. Now, if that feels like a lot, stick a block underneath your legs and press the arm bones down into the ground as those legs drop a little bit farther toward the right side. We're getting lots of length here through that left side, rib cage tissue, chest tissue, armpit area. Now take a breath or two and send the breath into that whole left side. All right, let's go ahead and come back up to center and set that foot down. And then we'll cross the other ankle over the knee, left ankle over right knee, and windshield wiper side to side. And just noticing as those hips go side to side, a little pull through the chest tissue. Next time legs come to the left, let's leave them drop over to the left. You could support them with a block if you like. Hold here and press your arm bones into the ground. Let those legs drop a little more. And then feel that stretch from the hip all the way up toward the side of the chest. Send your breath there for 2 more cycles. All right, go ahead, release, come back to the center. And then we're gonna roll to our side and let's go ahead, come all the way up into a seated posture from here. And you can go ahead, sit up on a prop, maybe your pillow or your folded blanket. So you're gonna put hands over the heart again. Take a couple moments again to breathe into your hands, into your heart. Become aware of kind of softening the tissue around the heart space. My teacher mentioned in one of our practices the 3 layers of the heart. So the outermost layer, he said, is that pericardium, that fascia that surrounds the heart. And then we go in another layer where he says the true self resides in the heart space. Some may call it spirit or soul in that place. And then we go a layer even deeper still. And he says is the most subtle aspect of the heart, which is beyond language. This part of the heart that kind of speaks to us without language. This intuitive part of the heart. And in fact, studies show the heart has its own knowledge, its own wisdom. It's like a second brain. Now, as you inhale, let's take the arms and circle them out to the sides and overhead. We're going to bend the elbows and turn the palms down to the head. So we're like a little frequency tower here. We're going to sit up as tall as you can and imagine that your palms can kind of generate that frequency of love, joy, peace, happiness, all these high vibration emotions. Just generate that toward yourself. Like you're just sending yourself a little blessing here, like our Benedictine monks that we mentioned in the beginning. So shower those blessings, whatever you feel like you might need, towards yourself. And then in a moment, we're going to project it outward. As the arms get tired, relax your shoulders and lengthen your spine. And then from here, bring the arms more into that goalpost position. We're going to turn the palms outward. And now take a few more breaths and send that frequency outward. What do you want to be projecting in those kind of 3 to 5 feet around your own heart? How do you change a room when you walk into it? One more breath. And then from here, lower those palms back to the heart space. And we're going to inhale, reach the arms out wide, take a little back bend, like you're giving the world this big giant hug. And then just hug yourself and round your spine, rock your tailbone forward. Let's repeat that. Inhale, arms out wide, big expansiveness, and then round. Crossing the arms opposite each time. Just kind of using this practice to just tune yourself into this frequency of love. Now we're going to switch it up and take the arms overhead. Inhale, stretch, arch the back. Exhale, round. It's almost like your cat-cow, but we're doing it seated. Inhale, arms up and back. Exhale, round. Let's do that a couple more cycles. One more. And then release. All right, so we're going to make our way into our tabletop position from here. And let's take our cat-cows, see if you can have a sense of moving from your heart. So continuing kind of this arch and curl movement. Inhale, arch the spine, and let the heart feel like it's lifting. Exhale, move from your heart and round your spine. So keep that going for a few more cycles. And we'll notice today a very different energetic effect from last week's practice when we really tuned inward into that refuge. Today is quite the opposite. We're going to be more expansive and opening up. So it's more stimulating for our nervous system. It's more energizing, but it can also feel a little more vulnerable to come out of that refuge. After this next round, head back, take your child's pose. Hold there for another breath. Coming back into tabletop position, we're going to take a pose called Melting Heart. So your hips are pretty much over the knees. And we're going to start to walk the arms forward. Now, if this is too much for you, you can put your hands under your forehead. Those of you who have the range of motion in your shoulders, arms are forward. Press in your palms, engage your arms, and lift your arms up. And start to let your heart melt down toward the ground. Keep those arm bones active. The forehead might get to the floor, it might not. You could always put a block under your forehead. Some of you want to go a little deeper, could start to move your chin toward the floor, and then you get a little bit more of your upper spine to move in. And you're going to take 3 more breaths here if you can. The feeling of the heart really connecting to the earth. Some similar frequencies of the earth and the heart. And this 432 hertz really connects us to the heartbeat of not only ourselves, but the planet itself. All right, let's go ahead and come back up into tabletop pose, and then we're going to come all the way down onto the belly. So I'm going to do this because I have a feeling I'm going to spill my tea again. Okay, so coming down into Sphinx posture, up on your forearms. Press down firmly into your arms and then start to pull your heart forward. So a lot of what's going on with heart space has to do with how strong is our upper back. If our upper back muscles are weak, our heart tends to cave in. So we want that heart, as we talked about a few weeks ago, we want it to shine forward. One more breath. All right, and then release, and we're going to turn the palms to face in, fingertips turn in. A couple rounds of a cobra variation here. Elbows are to the side. If this is too much on wrist, go back to regular cobra. Press your tailbone down into the ground, and then start to lift up any amount. Tailbone presses down, reach back through your toes, and release. So we're going to do that 2 more rounds with this cobra variation. Tailbone presses into the earth. Lift up, let that heart shine forward. And release. One more time. Good, and then from here, release your hands back to normal, press to tabletop, and then we're gonna come up into downward facing dog. So hands a little forward of shoulders, tuck your toes, lift your hips up, and we're gonna pedal it out a bit, shake your head out a bit, let your hips sway. And in fact, when we're upside down, this is really beneficial for our heart. We're going to talk more about this next week. This just gives a different effect on the gravity in our body and the fluid content in our body. Take the feet apart wide and then walk hands back to feet. Fold forward over your legs. And then we inhale, let's rise all the way up. And draw your hands to your heart. Okay. So we're going to work with some standing back bends today. Step your feet apart a little wider than your hips. Inhale, reach your arms up. And as you reach your arms up, you're going to imagine you're grabbing onto the sun or a big ball of light with your hands. Make it strong with your hands. We're going to start to pull it down to the heart, bringing light into your heart and lift your heart towards your hands. Release the hands down, circle them up, come back to vertical. Do that again. Pull down, lift your heart, draw light to your own heart. Arms come down. Now press them back. Press the arms back and then make a big circle and come back up. And this time, draw your hands to your heart. Good. We're going to add on, we're going to eventually clasp the hands behind the back this next time. Inhale, reach up. Pull the light down. Reach the arms back behind you. Start to squeeze your shoulder blades and then internally rotate and grab your palms behind your back. Pull the palms apart, really open up that heart space. And let's take a little standing back bend here. Keep the back of your neck long, legs strong. And release. Inhale, reach the arms up, back to vertical. One more time, hands to heart. And this time adding optional forward fold. Inhale, circle up. Pull that light down to the heart. Take the arms back. Interlace your hands. Pull the palms apart, big open heart, squeeze the shoulder blades. And then option this time, exhale, hinge and fold. You could come halfway or fold all the way over your legs. And to keep that heart space open, lift the shoulder head, squeeze the shoulder blades together. You've got a little bend in your knees. And then release. Bend the knees, circle the arms up. And draw hands to heart. Good. All right, step those feet back in. Let's do a couple rounds of just starting Namaskar A. And before we do, let's bring hands to heart. And maybe there's someone that you want to send this frequency of love out to today. I know we're like a week away from Valentine's Day, but this is my theme all week this week. So send that frequency out to maybe someone who needs it, or maybe that's yourself today. And kind of let this sun salutation be infused with that, because we're going to keep working the heart space here. So let's release the arms down and take a big circle with your arms, big back bend. Reach the arms up and back. And then exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale to your halfway lift. Step back, plank pose. First round here, let's lower all the way to the belly, and we're going to take just our regular cobra. Pull the palms back and apart as the heart lifts. So we want to keep the collarbones broad. And downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, go ahead, walk your feet forward, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. As you inhale, that big arm circle, a little back bend at the top, and spacious in your heart, and then draw back to the heart. And let's go through another round. Just remember that intention. Inhale, big arm circle. Reach back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Your choice if you want to go through to the belly, or if you want to go to up dog, you can lower halfway down, roll over the toes, and lift into your upward facing dog. Down dog as you are ready. Big inhale here, exhale, step or lightly jump, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, big arm circle, back bend at the top. And exhale, hands to heart. Good. So let's build some of that heart work into lunges now. If you need blocks for lunges, have them at the top of your mat to step back. You can also just place hands on the ground. Let's continue with those big arm circles. Inhale, open up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step your right foot to the back of your mat. Drop that knee down. And then inhale, reach the arms up. Pause here. Hook that tailbone forward. We're going to grab that big ball of light and then pull it down to the heart as you drop the hips and come a little deeper into your lunge. And then arms release down, circle them up and back, and come back to the vertical position. Let's do that again. Pull it down, lunge deeper, lift your heart to meet that light. Arms reach back and release down. Good, step back, plank pose. You can also go right to dog. So lower down through your vinyasa here, cobra or your up dog, meeting in your down dog. Next, inhale, sweep your right leg up. Step through, drop your back knee down, and then inhale, reach up. Do that same thing. Exhale, pull the leg down, lift your heart, circle the arms, coming back to the vertical. And again, pull down, heart meets the light. Circle the arms. And this time, hands come down, and we step it forward. Fold forward at the top of the mat. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, we're going to do side two. We're going to add on a bit. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, fold. As you inhale, left foot steps to the back of the mat. Drop that back knee down. And inhale, reach the arms up as you're ready. Get stable first. And then we're going to pull down. Lunge a little deeper. Big circle. This time, hook your right thumb in the front. Try to pull your hands apart with your So a little bit energetically pulling apart. Lunge a little deeper. Root into your front foot. And now see if you can open up toward the back a bit more. Tailbone hooks forward. Reach through your arms. Good. Release. Step back. Plank pose. Vinyasa, or you could go to your dog. Okay, meeting in your dog. On your inhale, left leg sweeps up high. Step it through. Back knee down. Inhale, arms reach. Good. Pull that leg down. Deepen your lunge. Circle the arms. Hook the left thumb in the front. Spread the fingers and pull apart. And then reach up, 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 and then to the back. We want to try and get the back ribs to lift off the back of the pelvis. Make space for your lower back. Good. Release. We're stepping forward. Fold over your legs, top of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to your halfway lift. Take the vinyasa or go right to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, right leg sweeps up behind you. We're going to step through into a warrior one. Spin your back heel down, bend your front knee, reach your arms up. Good. So working with that same kind of theme with the arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lift your heart, pull down. Reach your arms behind you. Stretch them back, expansive arms. And then see if you can clasp your hands behind your back. Roll the arm bones open, deepen into your front knee, and see if you can take a little bit of a back bend. Lengthen the back of your skull here. Try not to crunch your neck. And then hinge forward, belly toward your thigh. Swing that front hip in a little bit, and perhaps fold inside your leg. Keep lifting those shoulder heads in your humble warrior. So don't let your shoulders crowd your chest. Use your muscles between your shoulder blades. And then inhale, release the arms, rise up. Exhale, hands down, make your way back. Vinyasa or right to dog. So listen to your body, what your body needs. And then let's sweep the left leg up and step through warrior one. Same thing. Okay, find your warrior one, root through your feet, and then pull the leg down toward your heart. Reach the arms back, open up wide, and then interlace your hands. If you can, opposite thumb goes on top. Open the collarbones, and we stay in the back bend a bit. Anchor your back leg, your back heel. Squeeze those shoulder blades towards each other. And then hinging forward, belly to thigh. Swing that front sit bone in a bit and perhaps fold over the legs. That's optional. If that's too much, then just go belly to thigh. Lift your shoulder heads. Use those behind the heart muscles. And then release. Inhale, sweep it up. Good. Exhale, hands down. Step back, plank pose. And we're lowering all the way down to the belly. Okay. So we're going to bring the hands out for seal posture. So the hands are as wide as the mat, slightly forward of your shoulders. We're turning the palms out, and we're going to pull the tailbone to the ground. Start to press up. You can go halfway, elbows are bent, or you can keep going and straighten the arms. Really shine that heart forward. Turn your elbow creases forward and hold here. This is too much. Go back to a cobra. One more breath. Good, release, coming all the way down. Take your right arm out to the side. We're going to bring left hand in under your shoulder and start to roll the body to the right. Now, if your head doesn't reach the floor here, go ahead and grab a pillow for your head. You're going to start with legs stacked up on top of each other. And if you want to go farther, take your top leg, step it behind you. So it's a big stretch for that front of the chest there. Let's hold for 2 more breaths. And you might gently press your arm into the ground to kind of give you a little bit more sensation and stretch there. All right, make your way back to the center. Let's do that on the other side. Left arm out to a T. Right hand comes in under your shoulder. Push in your right hand, roll to your side, and you could stack those legs or bring the top leg back behind you. You might bring that foot flat, or you might just be on your toe. And then press gently into the arm bone if you like. That might be too much, so just listen to your body. And breathe into that front of the chest tissue. Opening up where we're often closed down, tight in front of the heart. Good, make your way back to the center. And we're gonna reach the arms forward like Superman. And we're gonna work with that, pulling the light again. So we're gonna inhale, lift the arms, the chest, the head, grab that ball of light and pull it towards your heart. Press your tailbone down and reach your arms back behind you. Big circle to the front, lift up and release down. Take a breath there. We're going to repeat. And those of you who can are going to clasp the hands behind your back. Arms forward. Lift up, grab that ball of light, pull your tailbone down, and then reach back behind you, lift your chest, excuse me, and then clasp the hands if you can. Roll the arm bones up and away from the floor, contract your upper back. Try not to lift your chin, lengthen your neck. Some of you might lift your legs now and squeeze those legs together. Shalabhasana. Good, release, stretch those arms forward and release. Hold there another moment. Okay, take your right arm into goalpost position out to the side. We're going to repeat this shoulder opener roll that we just did, but now the arm is in goalpost position. Remember, you could put a pillow under your head. Left hand under your shoulder. Roll to your right. So it's a little different feeling now with the goalpost. The legs might stack, or you might take that top leg behind you, either touch the toe or foot flat. If this is too much, take your arm out straight again. Excuse me. One more breath. And when you're ready, release, make your way to your other side. Good, straight. Left arm goalpost, right hand under your chest, push in your right hand and roll. And either stack the legs or take that top leg behind you. You might even gently press that arm into the ground. Notice if one side is significantly tighter than the other. Good, release. Make your way back to the center. All right, pause here, stack your hands, give your hips a little wiggle. All right, I'm gonna take those arms, reach them forward again. Lift up, grab that ball of light. And then circle the arms back. This time, bend your knees and try to lift your chest, lift your thighs, squeeze the legs together. You can always go back to what we did before without bending the legs. And then big circle, straighten the legs, straighten the arms, and release. We're gonna do that one more time. We're not grabbing the feet yet. We will get there. Some of us will get there today. Okay, arms forward one more time with just bending the knees. Grab your ball of light and lift it up. Good, let's pull it to the heart and reach back. Bend those knees. Keep the legs close together. Try not to sway and press your tailbone down. I know that's hard there, but give it a try. And then circle the arms forward and down. All right, take a little pause there, wiggle your hips. So back bends are often hard because we're weaker in our back body and we lack strength in our spinal muscles, especially that mid to upper back. We're gonna do that shoulder opener one more time. I'm gonna give you guys one more option. So again, listen to your body. So watch for a moment. Right arm out to the side, left hand comes in, start to roll open. This time it's almost gonna be like bridge pose. You're gonna take one foot flat, and then if you can, the other foot flat. It's not really bridge, but like as if you're getting ready for bridge. It's much deeper, so only going there with those feet flat if it feels available to you today. Don't want you pulling your shoulder out or, stretching your chest too much. So listen to your body, give it a try. Maybe you'll get one foot flat today, maybe two. Maybe press that arm bone down. Good. When you're ready, release it, coming back to your belly. Take your time. I can't see everybody when you guys are all the way down. So if you're still working on side one, take your time. Go to side two when you're ready. So arm out to a T. Hand comes in, roll to your side would be stage one. Stage two, foot behind you. Stage three, foot flat. Stage four, both feet flat. And maybe press that arm bone down. And then when you're ready, we will release and come back. All right. It probably would feel good to do a child's pose, but we're not going to yet. We're going to come into down dog. I want to do child's pose when we're done with the back bending. I don't like kind of going back and forth between all the back bends and then rounding a lot in between. So let's just go ahead and find neutral spine in a dog. Pedal out. Of course, if you need to, do what you need to. All right, go ahead, walk your feet forward, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. So that might feel nice to do a bit of a fold here, but do keep your knees bent. We won't stay too long. And then we rise up. Inhale, reach the arms up. Widen the feet a bit, and we're going to come into goalpost arms. In goalpost arms, press the arm bones back a little bit, and without popping your ribs, press the back of the heart forward. So it's a little bit of energizing that back of the heart space. And then take an inhale, exhale, twist to your right. Inhale, center, twist to your left. And just go back and forth a few times, just a little break, a little release. We're going to come back to more back bends in a moment. One more time each side. Good, and then release the arms. Inhale, reach up. Let's take a side bend. Legs are nice and strong, tailbone down. Good, inhale, come up, switch sides. Just a little break. Okay, inhale, reach up, and then arms down. Okay, I mentioned, I think in the email I sent out to make sure you have 2 bed pillows. I forgot to mention at the beginning of class. So if you don't have a yoga bolster, see if you can find 2 bed pillows. And we're gonna work on our bow pose using the props as a little bit of a lift, and then we're gonna try it without the props. So those of you who have a yoga bolster, grab that. Otherwise, you're gonna stack up 2 bed pillows. In a pinch, if you have none of those items, you could take your 2 blocks. I'm just going to show this. So you could take your 2 blocks alongside and then give yourself a folded blanket on top, and that could be a bolster too, okay? So that's another option. I don't find it as comfortable because the blocks are harder, but you could do it if you need to. So bolster is going to come underneath your top ribs, so kind of solar plexus area. And we'll come into just our Sphinx here to begin. I'll give you guys a moment to get there. Okay, in your Sphinx, push your arm bones back into the bolster and lift your chest. And you can see how the bolster is just helping to give you a little lift. You don't have to quite work as hard. And then let's bend the knees. Okay, pause here. Pull the arm bones towards you. Pull the chest forward. And try to lift your legs off the ground. They're not going to go anywhere, but it'll engage the back chain of your legs. Lift your gaze. Activate upper spine. Good, let it go. Okay, next phase is going to be to try and reach back and catch the feet. Now, some of us, we're not going to be able to get the feet today, so you can just work on reaching your arms back. We're going to start the same way. Pull the arm bones towards you. Start to lift your chest. Pull your tailbone down. Gaze forward. Bend your knees. Engage the legs by trying to lift them. And now, see if you can reach your arms back. Lift up a little higher, like you're doing that big arm circle. Turn your palms up, and then see if you can catch the big toe side of your feet. Big toe side, if you can. If that's too much, do whatever you can to grab the feet. Roll the shoulder heads back. Next phase, try to kick your feet back to lift your chest. You come out if you need to. We're holding here another breath. Try to activate the back chain by trying to lift your legs and kick them back. And release. Take a pause. Give your hips a little wiggle. We're going to keep going, guys. So if you like the bolster and you want to stick with it, you can repeat that. Those of you who want to proceed to the next phase are going to take the bolster out. And we'll try to do our bow pose without the little assistance of the bolster. So it's a lot harder to not be able to have that lift underneath your solar plexus rib cage area. But you have all the tools now. We opened up the heart space. We learned to engage the legs. We learned to pull the tailbone down, all these things. Try not to kink your neck. So start down on your belly. Reach your arms back. Bend your knees. Now first, press in your palms. Lift your shoulder heads. Lift your chest. Try to lift your legs. And then see if you can reach back. Catch the big toes. We turn the palms open. Try not to splay. And then kick, feet back. Pull the tailbone down. Lift and open the chest. Squeeze those legs together. One more breath, kick back. And release. Wiggle those hips out. I can't wait till we can do this in person so I can see you guys. When you're down low on the ground, I don't get to see you. Okay, rest if you need to. We're doing just one more round. And you're gonna have the option to add your flip of your bow. So it's kind of fun. I love to do it. But if it's too much, you could even just do a locust pose, or you can rest on your belly, listen to your body. One more time. Reach back, palms face down at first, lift the shoulder heads, bend the knees. Try to reach back. You have to bring those feet in a little closer to grab them, but then once you do, knees close together, kick back. And try to lift your thighs as you kick them back, and then maybe tip it over. And when you tip it over, you can really kind of pause there and just open up your heart space. And then when you're ready, you can roll back to center if you've got the roll, and go to the other side. If you don't want to do that part, just skip it. Oops. Sometimes it takes a few to get over to the side. Roll the shoulders open the chest. And then we're going to release all together. Take a pause. So now we're finished with all the back bends. Notice the level of invigoration to open ourselves up in this way. Give your hips a shimmy side to side, and then a windshield wiper or shin circles. We want to really release that lower back after all that work. Go the other direction if you're circling. And then we're going to come into tabletop. And I really love some hip circles after those bow poses. I find if I don't do all this work afterwards, then my back gets cranky. And then circle the other way. Now your reward. Let's go ahead and move back to our child's pose. Let those hip creases really draw back. Lengthen your lower back. I even like to push my palms forward to get that back lengthened. And then let the head come down. Now, if the head doesn't easily touch down, please go ahead and put your hands under your head or put a block under your head. And let's take a few more moments there. Send that breath into your lower back ribs. See if you can fill up into your lower back with your breath. All right, let's go ahead and come on up into a seated posture. And grab, a blanket or something, pillow to sit on. So we'll just do a couple of twists and forward folds to counter all of that back bending work. Let's take the legs out straight for a moment and sit up tall. All right, so we're gonna slide the right knee back and tuck that right heel back by your left sit bone, and then bring the left foot in front of your shin. If you want to go a little deeper, you can cross the foot over, and then you're more like a little pretzel. Okay, So you can have it here or you can have it here. Balance out your sit bones and hug your shin. Pull your shoulder blades back to lift and open your heart space. Get the sit bones to really drop and let the crown of the head float upward. Keep holding on with right hand. Reach your left arm up. Inhale, try to touch the ceiling, lengthen that side, and then big arm circle, take it behind you onto the ground. And then we're gonna push that hand down to really lengthen up. And as you exhale, take a twist over towards your left side. Now let's keep that heart nice and open here by dragging the elbows toward opposite sides of the room. And notice how that opens your back and your chest. Those of you who want to go farther can cross the elbow past the knee, but if you lose your height to do that, I would say skip it. So for me, my arm bone is not quite long enough, and then I have to round my spine. So I think it's more optimal to keep the spine long in a twist. But those of you who have long arm bones, it might be nice to get that lined. Staying in the twist. Inhale, a little taller. Exhale, take your left rib cage more toward the back, and right rib cage starts to wrap forward. Keep the rib cage turning toward the left into the back, and then bring your gaze forward. So we take a little counter twist with the neck and press up through the crown of your head. Rib cage still moving back. Good. Next inhale, unwind it. Keep your height as you unwind. And then let's take both of those legs out. Take a moment. Okay, let's do that on the other side. So we're going to tuck that left heel back by the right sit bone, and then right foot is either right in the front or cross it over. Even out your sit bones, and then hug your shin. Good. Pull on the shin to lift your chest, broaden those collarbones. Use those muscles behind the back of the heart without popping your rib cage. Left hand holds on. Inhale, right arm up. Try to touch the ceiling and big circle to the back. Push down into that hand to help you sit tall, and then take your twist. Looking toward the right. Every inhale, think about lengthening up. And then as you exhale, we're going to take the right rib cage, wrap it to the back. Left rib cage follows along. And then elbows pull toward the sides to keep the chest and the upper back nice and open. Keep moving the rib cage toward the back, toward the right and back, and then gaze forward. And then as you gaze forward, let the chin drop a little bit and lift the back of your skull upward. Good. Hold that one more breath. And then next inhale, keep your height, unwind, and we'll undo those legs, take the legs out, have a pause. All right, let's bring soles of the feet together. We didn't really do much open hip position other than that beginning sequence. So just a couple forward folds to counter all the back bends. We can stay right here. You can even support your knees if you wish with some cushions. Inhale, lengthen up nice and high. Activate those muscles behind the back of the heart. So we're not popping the ribs. Sometimes we pop the ribs to get the heart open. Use the back muscles. On your next exhale, option is start to hinge forward. And you'll come to that first kind of pause and think about tipping your pelvis so your sit bones go back. And then maybe you could come a little deeper. Let it be soft now. Maybe your palms come to the floor. Maybe your head gets heavy. And come back to that feeling of softening that we talked about in the beginning. So when we're stressed or we're defensive, we armor our bodies, including our heart space. And sometimes we need that bit of softening. But not only the heart is getting more flow and more circulation, but all of the tissues of the body, when they're tight and tense, there's less flow of our prana, our chi, throughout our tissues. So 2 more very soft breaths. And then after that second breath, we'll very slowly start to come up. Use your hands, pull those knees up. And then let's come onto our backs. You can grab whatever you need for Shavasana. We're not there yet, but have it ready. You want to have some props. You want to put on your fuzzy socks or your layers, have your blankets for nearby. We're going to come down with our head on a blanket or a pillow. Maybe keep something nearby for knee support. So I really find after back bending practice, it is very beneficial for most of us to have a bent knee Shavasana. I like it all the time, but especially after a back bend. Take your hips and lift them up a little bit and pull your tailbone towards your heels and lengthen your back a little bit more. A lot of times we've got excess curvature there. And if we try to take Shavasana with that extra curvature, it sometimes just doesn't feel good. So I want to neutralize and lengthen the spine. From here, let's go ahead and bring the knees into the chest with that nice lengthened tailbone. Pull them in and again, kind of scoop your tailbone a little forward and then pull those knees in even more. You might clasp your hands, and if you want to do a little more effort, you could lift your head, chest, and shoulders and just really press that lower back down and round your back. Little core here. You can also just keep it chill and let your head rest down. So 2 more breaths, whichever position you chose. And then release, let those feet come back down. Once the feet come back down, notice if you got that big arch again, scoot your tailbone out from under you, and then widen your feet about max distance and let your knees drop together. So constructive rest can be really broadening for our lower back. Again, let's lift the hips. Pull that tailbone towards your heels if you can, any amount more to lengthen lower back. Arms out to a T. And then drape your right arm over your left arm and give yourself a big hug. Reach back, grab your shoulder blades and pull them apart so that you feel like you're broadening your shoulder blades. And what we're doing now is letting that whole back body spread into the ground. So when we do back bends, our spinal muscles are contracting inward toward the spine, which is very stimulating for our nervous system. So now we're doing the opposite. We're letting the spinal muscles spread away from the spine so that we can leave this practice more balanced and not overstimulated. Let's switch the arms, big arms out to the side and then left arm on top. Grab those shoulder blades, pull them apart, spread the spinal muscles into the ground. And as you breathe, can you send some breath into your back body? All right, go ahead and release. Let's take a full body stretch. Little up slip, down slip, right arm, right leg, left arm, left leg. Just lengthen everything out after all that work for the back. The hips kind of move side to side a bit. All right, then one more time, let's bring these into the chest with that scoot of the tailbone out from under you. This time, drop knees apart and hold your ankles if you can, or your shins. And then you kind of let those feet drop and get heavy, sacrum gets heavy. If you are curling your tailbone up and you feel like you're doing a crunch, then just hold your knees. So we're just trying to really neutralize the spine. And if you want to move to happy baby, bring those feet up. But did your tailbone curl in? Let's see if we can keep that neutral spine. Tailbone is energetically moving away from your body. Some of you can hold your feet or your big toes without curling the spine. Feel free to take a rock or stay still. Okay, let's hug those knees in one last time. Hopefully your back has kind of settled now so that you can truly rest in your Shavasana. So find your Shavasana when you are ready to. Remember, it might be nice to support the backs of the knees. Support your head. Giving you guys a moment to get settled. I'm just tuning in to the rhythm of your breath, to the rise and fall of the diaphragm as it connects in through our fascia to our heart. Maybe notice as you breathe in, allowing your diaphragm to go down toward the belly. The belly rises. There's more space in the heart. And as you exhale, the diaphragm moves back. There's a little less space. So proper breathing, so essential for the health of our heart. If we're not breathing correctly, our diaphragm does not move, gets stuck. And we're not getting all of that nice massage and circulation into our heart space. On a subtle level, tuning into the fascia around your heart, that outermost layer, pericardium. And imagine it could soften any grippiness around your heart. Dissolving fear, resentment, defensiveness. And then deeper still inside that sac around the heart. Imagining the residence of true self, of soul and spirit. And then even deeper still, to that place in the heart beyond language. This intuitive inner knowing deep in the heart. It sends out its vibratory quality out into the world. It doesn't need words to let us know that you are projecting outward that sense of love, peace, harmony. And just continue to let everything soften throughout your body, letting go of all effort. Take a few more minutes to rest. All right, so we're going to start to return now. The breath come back to a little bit of a deeper rhythm. Noticing the effects of your practice. Like gradual movement, return to your body. And eventually you can come onto your side for pause and return to a seated position. But do take your time. Sitting however you're most comfortable. We're going to do another brief seated practice before we close. Widen the sit bones, root them down into the ground, lengthen your spine. Your chin is level with the floor, slightly dropping. And then let's bring palms and rub them together again. Get that nice warmth and friction. And then we're going to put those hands over the heart. Feel that warmth. As you inhale, we're going to move the palms like maybe a half a foot away from your heart. And as you exhale, we're going to press it back into the heart. And as you inhale and move the palms away, imagining that light growing. And as you exhale, pressing that imaginary ball of light into your heart. Maybe you could close your eyes and just have this sense of light growing, this electromagnetic field around your heart. And imagine those higher frequency emotions just kind of growing inside that ball of light. Some more peace, love, harmony, joy. And that you're releasing anything that darkens the heart, that causes us to be defensive and angry, frustrated, all those things that maybe tighten the heart. One more time, and then let's hold it. Just feel that warmth of your palms. Let your chin drop a little bit. Breathe into your hands. I'll finish with a poem from Amanda Gordon. At times, even blessings will bleed us. There are some who lost their lives and those who were lost from ours, who we might now re-enter. All are some ones summoned softly. The closest we get to time travel is our fears softening, our hearts unclenching. As we become more akin to kin, as we return to who we were before we actually were anything or anyone. That is, when we were born unhating and unhindered, howling wetly with everything we could yet become. To travel back in time is to remember when all we knew of ourselves was love. Let's bring palms together in front of the heart space. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, bowing your head to your heart. Namaste.